Madam President, Mr. Co-Chair, Your Excellencies, Ministers, Professors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is truly a privilege and I would say a distinct honor to be able to address you here today, as people my age don't get the chance often to appear to such high-level events. I must say that seeing the audience today, so many people still here, I must say it's flattering. Of course, I know you're waiting for the lunch, but still, very flattering, I would say. We are meeting at a time when the science could not be clearer, and the stakes could not be higher as well. Every ton of carbon emitted, every dollar invested in new fossil fuel infrastructure locks us deeper into a future of instability, inequality, and climate breakdown. We do not need incremental fixes, we do not need vague commitments to balance green ambition with short-term costs. We need radical clarity, a fossil fuel phase-out, and a just transition plan that gets us to net zero by 2050, with no excuses, no delays, and no backsliding. We therefore are in a great need of a concrete fossil fuel phase-out plan. The International Energy Agency has already said it. There is no room for new coal, oil, or gas if we are to meet net zero. Southeast Europe and the Mediterranean cannot afford to be left behind while the rest of the world accelerates. We must set legally binding deadlines to end coal by 2030, oil by 2040, and gas by 2050. All while redirecting all subsidies from fossil fuels, every single euro, yes, into clean energy, infrastructure, electrified transport, and grid resilience. Also, banning new fossil fuel exploration and infrastructure starting now, not in 10 years, not in 5 years, but now. Also, I would say it's very important to have a fair and full transition for people and regions. Yes, transition costs, but so does inaction. And we have far greater costs in floods, fires, droughts, and the loss of lives. A just transition is not only possible, ladies and gentlemen, it is essential. That means we need to practice sustainability every single day and achieve this with a green transition fund for reskilling and upskilling workers and professionals for clean industries. Public-private partnerships, fostering public-private partnerships to invest in solar, wind, and green hydrogen and storage capacity, especially in regions currently dependent on fossil fuels. Protecting vulnerable households as well from energy poverty with targeted subsidies and energy-efficient retrofits. Fairness is not the opposite of ambition. Fairness is what makes ambition possible. We need radical action within a just climate diplomacy framework. The Mediterranean is already a climate hotspot, and no single country can confront this crisis alone. We therefore need cross-border cooperation that allows us to share renewable power and technologies from the Balkans to North Africa, and also joint investments for net zero industries, agriculture and finance. If Europe wants to lead, it must lead not just in words, but in actions that bind us together in a shared destiny of decarbonization. Ladies and gentlemen, too often we are told that ambition is unrealistic, that the costs are too high, that we must slow down, but the truth is the exact opposite. Delay is the most expensive option of all. We are the last generation that can prevent runaway climate change, and the first with the tools, the capital, and the knowledge to succeed. The question, therefore, is not whether we can afford to phase out fossil fuels, it's whether we can afford not to. So let us be bold. Let us declare clearly no more excuses, no more half measures, no more fossil future. And the path to net zero is radical, yes, but it's also achievable, fair and necessary. And if we commit to it fully, I must say that Southeast Europe and the Mediterranean cannot be the laggard of the transition, but its leader. And finally, as far as my generation is concerned, I must say that youth have the will and the passion and the innovative ideas to drive that kind of change. However, leaving us without a seat at the table means that the policies you create won't be future-proof. They must align with our vision of the future. Many of you, leaders in academia, private sector, and government, every decision that you take every single day affects my generation's future. So don't you waste it anymore. Thank you.